Kasey watched the star's smile fade into an exaggerated pout. He might be used to women falling at his feet, but she wasn't one of his groupies. Did I bruise your frail ego? What a ham. Maybe it's that silly rag on your head making you all girly. She couldn't help herself. The man in front of her was huge, at least 6'4", with shoulders so broad the wide-set handlebars on the motorcycle didn't look nearly as impressive. This guy could wear a pink tutu and look masculine. The band members and roadies seemed to enjoy the banter, but she wasn't sure whom they were rooting for, Cody or her. Cody sat up straight on the bike, his smile gone. He pulled the bandana off and ran his fingers through his flattened mass of blonde hair. She took in a quick breath. Maybe that last comment had crossed a line. She knew the do-rag was symbolic to the band, but then if her jab got him to quit mugging around, it would be worth it. She'd get the best shots of the day. His hair bounced back into its usual tangle of waves, softening his chiseled look. He stuffed the slip of fabric into his back pocket with a half grin, maybe just short of a smirk. Kasey clicked like mad. Now we're talking. Cody tugged open the snaps of his western shirt. She switched cameras and gave him a nod of encouragement. Tuggle's PR guys had left last night. She called the shots now, just the way she liked it. This was all Cody. His tan accentuated his chest, flawless. He didn't have a soft, white-collar body. This was the body of a guy who enjoyed getting physical. Looking right manly now, Mr. Tuggle. Her heart and soul belonged to Nick, but staring at Cody Tuggle for hours at a time was no punishment. Mr. Tuggle, why is it the less I'm wearing, the more business you get? He stepped off the motorcycle in one easy movement and took a step in her direction. Quit it, you big flirt. She took another picture. I'm married. She wiggled her ring finger in his direction. Kasey glanced at her watch. It was almost 9. Let's take 5. She walked to a table nearby, pulled her phone from her hip and dialed home. Every day on the road, at 9 o'clock sharp each morning, there was nothing more important than checking in with Nick and Jake. She loved her work, but they were the light of each day, and 3 days in a row of not being with them was torture. With her back to Cody and the others, she talked to Nick. He caught her up on their plan for the day. She checked her watch again, then forced herself to wrap up the call. Love, love, love you, boys. I love you 10 and 5, Mom. Jake's tiny voice made her heart bubble. 10 and 5 was the biggest number in the world to him. Love you, babe. See you at the other end of the day, Nick said, and hung up. A familiar surge of happiness consumed her. She couldn't wait to be home with them. She and Nick had wed just a few months after they'd met. It was a marriage made in heaven. And Jake was the icing on the wedding cake. That little angel was the best thing she'd ever done in her life. She snapped her phone shut and headed back to the chute. Let's go, guys. Tuggle turned his attention back to her. Call home to check in with Mr. Phillips? Not exactly. Phillips is my maiden name. She switched to her digital camera for the final run. But yes, I was checking in at home. That dude's one lucky guy. 2, actually. Cody leaned forward and lowered his voice. 2? I bet number 1 doesn't think much of that. Funny. She wrinkled her nose. Husband and son. You had me worried there for a minute. She lowered the camera. Nick and Jake. Jake's 3 and the most adorable child. Not that I'm biased. Got his mama's good looks, did he? Cody smiled a perfect smile, the kind he wasn't good at performing on demand. You know I'm just playing around, right? Kasey captured one last shot, ignoring the remark. You're done. She lifted the camera strap over her head and wiped her palms on her jeans. I've got what I need. I was just getting into it. He struck an Egyptian pose. Everyone howled and cheered. You're too much. She tucked the cameras into her case. Give me a couple of hours and I'll let you and Artie take a look. Great. We'll be down at my guest house. Over the past 2 days, she'd walked every path that wound through the estate. There were 8 guest houses in all, each one named after a different star Artie Max represented. Over the years, he'd done quite well spotting raw talent and nurturing it to the ultimate reward. Kasey made short work of processing the morning shots. She'd driven her RV to this chute. It was the best.